Am I the asshole for cropping my sister-in-law out of my wedding photos after she said she looked fat? Throw away because sister-in-law has my main ACC.
My wife, 27F, and I, 28M, recently got married and it was amazing. The wedding was set on a riverside farm and so we had photo shoots outside on the fields before the ceremony.
We started taking photos around noon and my sister-in-law, 30F, was one of the bridesmaids.
Sister-in-law has always been a negative person since I met her, always trying to make small judgmental comments, while my wife is an incredibly kind person. They have very different personalities, so I never questioned why they aren't close and assumed that sister-in-law was included in her group of bridesmaids to appease my wife's parents. Because sister-in-law and my wife have never been very close, she was at the end of the line of bridesmaids and usually was at the edges of group photos.
While taking the photos, sister-in-law was the only person complaining about things like the sunny weather and how her dress was absorbing heat. I don't know much about dresses, but it was about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Most people in the photo shoot group ignored her comments and it wasn't an issue for the rest of the day. We got the photos of both the shoot and the ceremony from the photographer 3 weeks after the wedding. We promptly sent the photos to the people in photo shoot and told them we planned on using the photos on social media. Most people thanked us for the photos, but my sister-in-law called my wife and was very angry, yelling that she looked like a fat pig in every photo she was in and demanded that we not use any of the photos with her in them. For context, sister-in-law is bigger than my wife, but not to an extreme extent. She doesn't look unhealthy and I've never heard her have body issues before, but I admittedly wouldn't know much about it. In the wedding photos, she really doesn't look any different from her normal self.
My wife tried to reason with her, saying she looks just as pretty as everyone else, but sister-in-law did not want to hear it.
She reiterated that if we used any photo of her on social media that she would never speak to us again and would put us on blast, whatever that means.
My wife was really hurt by her sister's outburst and I was very bothered that she thought she could tell us what to do with our special moment.
Here's where I may be the asshole. I decided that if she had such a problem, she didn't need to be in the photos. I cropped her out and posted those versions to social media. I thought it would be fine and it was easy since she was at the edge anyway.
After posting, she then called me even angrier than before and accused me of trying to erase her from the memory of the wedding.
I told her I only did it to accommodate her wishes while also getting to use our own wedding photos. Sister-in-law hasn't talked to us in a week. My wife's parents are mad at us for upsetting SIL. While my wife is on my side, she thinks I could have been more mature about it. I don't think I did anything wrong and accommodated her already unreasonable request.
So, am I the asshole?
Not the asshole. You did exactly as she asked. Was she expecting y'all to just not post any photos of your wedding? Not the asshole. You followed her instructions. Surely she didn't expect you to just not use photos with her in them.
Your sister-in-law is a narcissist who is making this about her.
Tell her the only other thing you'll do is repost the unedited versions. Not the asshole.
Her behavior here is probably exactly why your wife had her as a bridesmaid. Yet she would have complained loudly to everyone about something she clearly didn't want to do in the first place. Your wife needs to learn that it is not her responsibility to manage her sister's negativity because it is never going to change. It will only drag her down with it. Sister-in-law isn't speaking to y'all? Sounds like a blessing to me.
Lol. I really wish there was a JTA in this sub. Justified. You did exactly what your sister-in-law asked.
This should be in malicious compliance.
Not the asshole. Your sister-in-law can't demand you not use your wedding photos.
That's entitled on top of entitlement.
Not the asshole.
What the fuck did sister-in-law think you were going to do, burn the negatives? Have a do-over wedding when she feels better about herself? Photoshop her head onto Zendaya's body? She wants to have it both ways. She wants to have the drama. She wants to be the star of your wife's special day.
Ignore her. Not the asshole. You abided by your SIL's wishes.
None of the pictures from your wedding posted to social media include her. There is no pleasing some people.
She will have to get over herself. Your wedding is about you and your wife.
The SIL just wants drama.
Am I the asshole for ignoring my parents when they don't refer to me by my middle name?
I, 15 female, was born physically disabled. This is relevant, with a highly uncommon, biblical name.
My mother chose it by, quite literally, opening a Bible and choosing the first word she saw.
The name in question is considered to be more masculine, as well as very outdated.
Due to this, and my disability, I've been bullied for most of my life.
My name has been constantly made fun of, purposefully mispronounced, and even been used as an excuse to misgender me.
About 2 months ago, I made the decision to go by my middle name. I respectfully asked everyone around me to use it, and for the most part, people did.
The bullying died down and I felt a lot happier with a more feminine name. However, my parents, 59 male, 50F, are still referring to me by my first name. When I explained to them why I wanted to go by my middle name, they claimed that I'd always be bullied due to my disability and that a name change wouldn't prevent anything. They also said that, since they were old, they shouldn't be expected to put in the effort of referring to me as something else, as it had caused them unnecessary stress. My mother was also particularly upset about me going by my middle name, as she believed that I was, in a way, betraying God by no longer using a biblical name. My parents also argued that they'd only call me by my first name at home, so it shouldn't affect me.
However, over the next month, they kept using my first name. Each time they used it, I was reminded of the constant bullying I put up with throughout my life. So, I had the idea to simply not respond to them, or say, "That's not my name," every time they used my first name. It worked at first. However, they now either mock me, grumble, or complain to me that I'm overreacting. My parents believe that I'm disrespecting them by going by my middle name. But, I now despise my first name, as it reminds me too much of the excessive bullying I've received in the past. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole.
Your parents aren't old, they're lazy and dismissive in saying they're too old and set in their ways to change your name. You are old enough to determine by which name you'd like to be called. This is a lot like dead naming someone who transitions. They are putting their feelings about the name they randomly chose for you over you feelings of carrying that name around with you until you're old enough to legally change it. If it were me, I'd do exactly what you are doing.
If they call for Ezekiel, I would ignore them until they use your chosen name. Edit, typo. Well, I think them saying, "You will always be bullied because of your disability," is shitty. My grandson has cerebral palsy, and he's the sweetest, happiest little guy ever. So I'm going to be that grandma if anyone bullies him.
Your parents saying that so casually is disgusting.
Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your parents are bullying you into accepting what you've already said was unacceptable. They're no different than those outside of your family who've given you grief. What you should do is tell them that you're considering changing your entire name to something that works best for you.
Bet they'll then start addressing you by that middle name in a flash. Their stance is so dumb because I bet you all the dollars that when you get older, if you marry a straight Christian man, they would have zero difficulty understanding that your last name will change. Hell, they'd probably be thrilled to write things to you as Mrs. husband's last name.
Also, didn't they pick your middle name too? It's not like you said your new name is Sonic the Hedgehog or something. Not the asshole at all.
This is the crappy part of being smarter and saner than your parents.
Not the asshole at all. I hate when parents choose ridiculous names for their kids, even more so when they get defensive when the kid is old enough to object to it. It's just selfish. I have 2 kids, and if one of them was bullied for their, admittedly quite common, names, I'd happily let them change it to their middle if they preferred. It's not a huge deal. The fact they aren't even concerned about you being bullied is awful. I'm glad she stopped physically hitting you, but that should have never happened in the first place. I wouldn't take anything that woman says to heart, for saying that she's Christian enough to name you a biblical name and think you betrayed God for changing it. It isn't very Christian of her to hit you or call you names, is it? I'm so sorry you're in this situation, and I hope things get better. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law how I feel about her baby name after she asked?
I 28F have a sister-in-law, Anna 35F.
She is 8 months pregnant.
She has had 3 miscarriages in the past and had to have an abortion after her last pregnancy was not viable. Her pregnancy is taking a huge toll on her. She had awful morning sickness and pre-existing medicinal conditions that have worsened, and she is on sick leave. I offered to plan her baby shower as she was unable to, and offered up our place for her and brother-in-law as it was mainly family and a few friends that I know through her. The baby shower was a hit. Anna was really pleased with how everything turned out and at the shower told everyone that she is keeping the gender of her baby a surprise, but her and brother-in-law picked out a name for the baby. They want to name the baby 5 as the number is the amount of years they have tried to conceive and it took them 3 miscarriages and 1 termination. Anna said it's a reminder of her baby's older siblings, and I expressed in private after she asked what I thought of the name that it might not be this symbolic for their baby when they grow up to understand the meaning. I did say the word burden, which led to Anna getting really upset and left, and my brother-in-law followed her out.
Brother-in-law called me after and was upset and said I made Anna cry and ruined the baby shower. My husband agrees with me on the name 5, but he thinks it wasn't our place to say anything and that Anna and his brother had been through a lot of infertility struggles and that I should just let her have the name as there are worse names she could have picked. 5 is a unique name, but I was just trying to point out the meaning of the name they had picked, and the implications of it. Not the asshole. This name will be a burden to bear.
Every time the kid will invariably be asked, 5 is such an interesting name, how is it your parents named you that? They will have to answer, well gee, the story goes they named me 5 because they had 3 miscarriages and an abortion of an unviable pregnancy. Over and over in their life.
Why would your in-laws theoretically want this to occur on the daily for the rest of this kid's life? Great first date material. It's dumb and frankly overdramatic and attention-seeking.
But it's the poor kid who will suffer and get the attention, but your sister-in-law wants it.
Not the asshole. She asked you what you thought of the name, and you gave your opinion. I agree with how the name is going to cause problems with the child later in life, especially when they start school. I don't understand what is with people and wanting to give their children weird names. Not the asshole. She asked, you answered. Baby deserves his or her own identity, not a constant reminder of the siblings before them. They'll be the standard baby could never live up to.
The parents should be celebrating him or her as their rainbow baby, not a reminder of their grief.
PPL with infertility always try to make everything about themselves and the infertility.
It's awful that this kid is going to have to grow up in the shadow of 4 kids who never made it to birth and have to deal with its parents' unresolved trauma forever because of their name.
And because she asked. Not the asshole.
They could pick a name that starts with V since that's the Roman numeral for 5.
Not the asshole, assuming she actually asked you, what do you think of the name we picked out? As if she genuinely wanted your opinion. Anything less than that and you're the asshole. Even if she asked you in a half-hearted way, I am still tempted to say not the asshole because of the name.
But at the baby shower?
Harsh. Also, they are upset now, but hopefully when they calm down they consider your feedback. It is a burden. And what is the kid going to say when people ask, why did your parents name you 5?
As many do when someone has a unique name. Imagine having to say your parents named you in honor of your miscarried siblings every time?
Tears of joy.
Am I the asshole for asking my parents to stop telling people I am in hospital?
Hi all.
I, 25 female, am currently pregnant and have been admitted to hospital a few days ago for a suspected clot in my lung following severe chest pain.
I am still in hospital right now.
A few weeks ago, my wonderful maternal grandfather passed from cancer and we are obviously as a family still upset.
2.5 years ago I was in a car accident. I broke my back in 3 places, my pelvis, and 3 ribs. It was during COVID, so I was admitted to hospital and had loads of scans all through the day, night. Once they figured that I didn't need corrective surgery, they discharged me the following morning with morphine tablets in a wheelchair. I came out of hospital to around 100 messages from people I barely knew wishing me well. My mom and stepdad had posted pictures of my wrecked car on Facebook and told everyone they knew about the accident and specifics about my injuries. At the time I asked them to take down the posts as I did not want people knowing all about my personal life. They never took the posts down. Today my friend told me that my mom has been sending messages into group chats telling people that I am pregnant and in hospital. My stepdad told his family the same. I have told them that my husband and I want to share the news ourselves. I told them that I was so hurt and disappointed that they have told people and also lied to me about it. I pointed out the lie and told them that I had again received messages from others proving that they lied. My mom then sent me a voice note of her crying saying, "Sorry, I don't know what I have done, but I am sorry. I must be the worst mother in the world. I am just so upset about Papa too.
It was hard to hear her so upset by I just reiterated that asking for privacy was not too much to ask. My stepdad, who I have been very close to, also sent me a voice note telling me that they don't need this stress, and to stop being so hateful over something so trivial.
He told me that I was clearly hormonal but that he'll let it slide this time, because I am pregnant.
He told me that my mom has cried for over 30 minutes and it's all my fault and that it's all over nothing.
Also, that they told other people because they are worried about me.
He said they will never apologize as they haven't done anything wrong.
He also said that I am the daughter he never had and that he loves me but that he is so disappointed in my behavior. The original message that started this sent to my mom.
Sorry, it's just I've had messages from people today wishing me well in hospital, so I know you lied about who you have told about me being here.
I am just hurt and disappointed as I would have much preferred privacy.
I don't feel like sharing any more because I don't know who you are both sharing it with and it has actually made me being in hospital much more stressful.
I might be the asshole because we are all grieving and emotions are running high. I also don't feel like they told other people in a malicious way, just thoughtless.
So, am I the asshole?
Not the asshole.
They don't need the stress?
Give me a break.
Perhaps the person hospitalized doesn't need the stress.
You're pregnant, so it's two lives on the line here.
How can they possibly believe their stress of you being upset at them could possibly compare to the actual stress you're under?
They are selfish attention seekers. Not the asshole. They overstepped your reasonable boundaries and are using your misfortune for personal attention. Then playing victim when you call them out. You really should read Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. It's a free PDF.
Sounds like your parents, mom especially, has a gossiping problem.
Definitely not the asshole. A lot of people don't want their personal life out there and that's fine. Not the asshole, they are now on an information diet. They get told nothing until you are ready to share with the world.
Not the asshole, I would however go very low contact since they don't know what boundaries are.
Not the asshole. At all. Your health is your business.
Your mom sounds incredibly manipulative and narcissistic by her, I must be the worst mom in the world, response.
I'd be keeping them on a strict information diet from here on out.
When it comes time to deliver the baby, I'd suggest not telling anyone.
Tell them after the baby is born and you've had a chance to announce your good news. Otherwise they seem like the type who will tell everyone before you get a chance.